chop up, chop up. To cut food into small pieces. Sarah chopped up some vegetables for the stir-fry. Boil over, boil over. To overflow while boiling. Be careful, the soup might boil over if left unattended. Mix up, mix up. To combine ingredients by stirring. Let's mix up the batter for the pancakes. Slice off, slice off. To cut a thin piece from the edge of something. He sliced off a piece of cheese for the sandwich. Pour in, pour in. To add liquid into a container or dish. She poured in the milk slowly while stirring the sauce. Sprinkle on, sprinkle on. To scatter something over food. Don't forget to sprinkle on some salt and pepper before serving. Heat up, heat up. To make something hot. Can you heat up the soup in the microwave? Peel off, peel off. To remove the outer layer of something. Please peel off the skin before slicing the potatoes. Drain out, drain out. To remove liquid by pouring or letting it flow. Let the excess oil drain out before serving the fries. Stir in, stir in. To mix an ingredient into a dish. Stir in the herbs just before serving the pasta. Cut down, cut down. To reduce the amount of an ingredient. We should cut down on the sugar in this recipe. Bring to a boil. Bring to a boil. To heat something until boiling. Bring the water to a boil before adding the pasta. Mash up. Mash up. To crush food into a soft mass. Mash up the bananas for the smoothie. Set aside. Set aside. To reserve for later use. Set aside some sauce for dipping. Beat in. Beat in. To mix an ingredient by repeatedly hitting it. Beat in the eggs one at a time until well combined. Grate off. Grate off. To rub food against a grater to produce shreds. She grated off some cheese for the salad. Fold in. Fold in. To gently mix ingredients by turning over. Carefully fold in the whipped cream to the cake batter. Cut up. Cut up. To chop or divide food into smaller pieces. Let's cut up the chicken into cubes for the curry. Simmer down. Simmer down. To reduce heat to a simmer. Simmer down the sauce and let it thicken. Whisk up. Whisk up. To beat or whip rapidly. Whisk up the eggs until they form stiff peaks. Brush on. Brush on. To apply a liquid with a brush. Brush on some butter before baking the rolls. Peel away. Peel away. To remove the outer layer in strips. Peel away the skin from the roasted peppers. Boil away. Boil away. To evaporate liquid by boiling. Let the sauce boil away until it thickens. Drain off. Drain off. To remove excess liquid by pouring. Drain off the excess water from the cooked pasta. Mix in. Mix in. To blend ingredients together. Mix in the flour until the dough forms. Cut out. Cut out. To remove a part of something by cutting. Cut out the seeds from the tomatoes before chopping. Pour out. Pour out. To empty liquid from a container. Pour out the excess oil from the pan. Beat up. Beat up. To mix ingredients vigorously. Beat up the eggs until they are frothy. Roll out. Roll out. To flatten dough with a rolling pin. Roll out the pastry until it's thin enough for the pie crust. Dip into. Dip into. To immerse briefly into a liquid. Dip the strawberries into the chocolate sauce. Bring down. Bring down. To reduce the temperature or heat. Bring down the heat and let the stew simmer. Ladle out. Ladle out. To serve with a ladle. Ladle out the soup into bowls for serving. Break off. Break off. To separate something from a larger piece. Break off a piece of bread for dipping. Put in. Put in. To add an ingredient to a dish. Put in the spices and let the sauce simmer. Rub in. Rub in. To spread something by rubbing. Rub in the seasoning evenly over the meat. Wipe off. Wipe off. To remove something by wiping. Wipe off the excess flour from the cutting board. Scoop out. Scoop out. To remove something with a scoop or spoon. Scoop out the seeds from the pumpkin before baking. Skim off. Skim off. To remove a substance from the surface. Skim off the foam from the top of the soup. Bring up. Bring up. To heat or cook something. Bring up the soup to a simmer before serving.